Some stories begin quietly, but this one begins with a storm inside a mother's heart. Grace Whitmore, one of the most powerful billionaires on the West Coast, sat across from her only daughter in a little family-owned restaurant, far away from the glittering world she normally lived in. She wasn't there as a CEO. She wasn't there as a billionaire. She was there as a mom who was desperate to fix what had been breaking her daughter piece by piece. And she had no idea that today, in this ordinary restaurant, she would meet a struggling single dad, and her next decision would shock everyone, including herself. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to support your channel name. Your engagement helps us share more powerful stories that remind us of the good still left in this world. Grace's daughter, Lily, was 23, bright, kind-hearted, shy, and still recovering from a heartbreak that had left her confidence crushed. For months, Grace had watched her daughter retreat into herself, avoiding people, avoiding friendships, even avoiding her own dreams. So today, she brought Lily to a blind lunch date. Not to match her with a husband, Grace wasn't that kind of mother, but simply to help her meet someone new, someone decent, someone who might remind Lily that her life hadn't ended with one breakup. But as they walked in, Grace immediately sensed something was wrong. The young man Lily was supposed to meet sat at the table already. Gold watch, slick hair, expensive suit. But the moment he saw Lily, his face twisted in annoyance. Not curiosity, not interest, annoyance. And then he did the unthinkable. "Seriously?" he muttered loud enough for both women to hear. "This is who you set me up with? She doesn't look anything like her photos." Lily froze. Grace felt the air leave her lungs. The boy didn't stop. "Next time, be honest," he added with a smirk. "I thought I was meeting someone higher caliber." Lily looked down, her eyes glassy with embarrassment. She whispered, "Mom, can we just go?" But Grace wasn't even looking at the boy anymore. Something else in the restaurant had caught her eye. A few tables away, a man, maybe early 30s, sat with a little girl about 6 or 7. The girl wore a tiny princess dress, sparkly shoes, and a crooked tiara. She was laughing, showing off a missing front tooth, while her father cut her pancakes into little heart shapes. He wasn't dressed in anything fancy. Just a clean flannel shirt, worn jeans, and the tired but gentle smile of someone who had been through a lot, but still loved deeply. Grace watched him for only a few seconds, but something about the scene tugged at her. Maybe it was the tenderness. Maybe it was the effort he put into making the little girl smile. Maybe it was because she recognized the expression in his eyes, the same one she used to see in the mirror when raising Lily alone after her husband died. As the rich boy at their table droned on, bragging about his car, his house, his connections, his standards, Grace felt something in her snap. Enough was enough. "Lily," she said softly, "we're leaving." But instead of walking toward the exit, Grace walked straight toward the man with the little princess. "Excuse me," she said with a warm smile. "I hope we're not intruding. We just noticed your daughter's beautiful tiara." The little girl giggled. "Daddy said I could wear it 'cause today is our special day breakfast." Her father, his name, as they later learned, was Daniel, smiled shyly. "It's her weekly princess day. I try to make the morning special." Grace's heart softened. "Well, you're doing an amazing job." Lily stood behind her mother, confused, her cheeks still red from embarrassment. Daniel noticed and gave her a gentle nod, one that didn't pity her, didn't judge her, just acknowledged her humanity. Then his little girl looked at Lily and said, "You can sit with us if you want. Daddy says nobody should have sad eyes during breakfast." Grace felt her throat tighten. Lily let out a small breath, half a laugh, half relief. And for the first time that day, she sat down willingly. The billionaire, her daughter, the single dad, and a little girl in a plastic tiara, 4 strangers suddenly sharing a table like old friends. They talked, not about money, not about status, not about things that didn't matter. They talked about real life. Daniel shared that he had been raising his daughter, Emma, alone since his wife passed away 3 years ago. He worked 2 part-time jobs, took night classes, and still made sure to give Emma moments of magic. "I can't give her the world," he said quietly, "but I can give her a childhood filled with love." Grace noticed Lily listening, really listening, with a softness she hadn't seen in months. Lily shared about her own heartbreak, her fear of opening up again, her worry that maybe she wasn't enough. Daniel responded gently, "Heartbreak doesn't mean you're unlovable. It just means the wrong person got a chance they didn't deserve." Lily's eyes filled with tears, not from pain this time, but from healing. The longer they talked, the more Grace realized something powerful. This simple man, with no wealth, no status, no polished persona, had more kindness in him than most of the people she met in boardrooms. At one point, Emma tugged on Lily's sleeve. "Want to see the picture I drew of my mommy? Daddy says she's an angel now." Lily smiled softly. "I'd love to." They leaned over the little girl's sketchbook, and something beautiful happened. Lily's shoulders relaxed, her laughter returned, her heart reopened just a little. When the bill arrived, Grace quietly reached for it, but Daniel shook his head. "No, please," he said. "I invited you all to stay at our table, let me cover it." Grace was stunned. This man who had so little still wanted to give. She let him, not because she couldn't pay, but because she respected him too much to take away his dignity. As they stood to leave, Emma hugged Lily's legs. "I hope your heart feels better now," she whispered. Lily knelt down, hugged her back, and said, "It already does." Outside the restaurant, the winter air felt softer somehow. "Lighter." "Mom," Lily said quietly, "thank you for not making me stay with that guy." Grace took her daughter's hand. "Honey, I didn't bring you here to meet a perfect man. I brought you here to remember what real kindness looks like." Lily nodded, her eyes shining. A moment later, Daniel and Emma walked out too. Emma waved her tiny hand. "Bye, Princess Lady." Lily laughed. "Bye, Princess Emma." Daniel smiled at them. "Thank you for sitting with us. You made Emma's day." Grace looked straight at him and said, "Actually, you made ours." They parted ways, but the warmth lingered. For the rest of the week, something changed in Lily. She woke up earlier. She smiled more. She joined her mother on walks again. She even signed up for a painting class, something she'd put off for months. It wasn't because she had fallen in love. It wasn't because Daniel was some miracle cure. It was because kindness, pure, simple kindness, has a way of stitching up wounds we didn't think would ever heal. And Grace, the billionaire who thought she had seen everything, learned something priceless that day. Sometimes the richest people are the ones who give the little they have with a full heart. In the end, kindness doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it's a shared table, a listening ear, a child's innocent hug. Sometimes it's one moment of empathy that reminds a hurting heart that it still matters. So wherever you are, whoever you are, choose kindness. You never know whose life, perhaps even your own, it might change forever.